looking at our next guest and thinking about this. Judy Gaman, our next guest, health and wellness expert. First of all, Judy, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. Glad to be there. Thanks for being here.
I did this myself last year, kind of inadvertently. My daughter told me she was going to give up video games for Lent, and I said, I'm just going to give up alcohol. And it was already out of my mouth long before I could retrieve it, so I had to live with it. But as a result of giving up alcohol altogether for Lent, I did lose weight. I did sleep better. And what do you call? You have a term for this?
Yeah, it's called Janopause. It's kind of something that's stuck, meaning in the month of January, people are giving up alcohol for 5 weeks, so I guess it goes into the first week of February.
Well, that's pretty incredible, and for me, it took me about, it's not like I, drink very much, but on occasion, like anybody else, I have my moments, I suppose. But giving it up altogether, after a week or two, you don't even think about it. And I did notice the health benefits. I felt that I was of clearer mind. I did lose some weight. I just felt better overall.
Well, that's consistent with the findings of the study. In the study, they did 5 weeks, as you know. They gave up alcohol, and they lost a little over 3 pounds on average. And cholesterol levels dropped in half. Glucose levels, which is blood sugar, which is what we look at when we're talking about like diabetes and metabolic syndrome, that dropped 25%. So it's really not something that we need to study to tell us, because if you have something that we know causes diabetes, we know causes high cholesterol, we know causes weight gain, if you stop it, you're going to feel better, and all these things are not going to happen. But it is good to have a study so we can go on air and we can talk about it, and people can have black and white proof that, hey, you know what, if we aren't drinking alcohol, we're going to do better.
I just want to add as well, when Steve gave up alcohol, I didn't get nearly as many angry emails. Is there a correlation there, do you think?
Yeah, especially on Monday morning, right?
Yeah. Why the 5 weeks? I mean, is it something that, how was that time period arrived at?
Well, a lot of times when they do studies, they'll use a 5 or 6 week period, because especially when it has to do with something like giving up alcohol or stopping a particular medication, because that gives it time to completely flush out of the system, and then you can analyze the data. Because if they said, let's do it for 2 weeks, well, by the time it's completely flushed out of the system, you don't have a lot of data that is truly alcohol-free. So using the 5 weeks, you have a flushing time, and then you have time that you can actually study the patients or the participants during that time when there isn't any alcohol in the system. So it's a good time frame. And maybe they said, I'll only sign up if it's, less than 2 months. So maybe that might have had something to do with it.
And Joanne, based on this conversation, I'm going to have a couple drinks tonight and start writing emails again, just so we're clear on that. Just because it's not time to quit yet, because I'm not going to quit till Lent. That's why I'm going to do it again this year. Let me ask you this, Judy. Why does it have such a direct impact on things like cholesterol? To me, those things don't line up from a basic understanding of alcohol and so forth. Why does cholesterol go down?
Well, it really has to do with not only taking in the alcohol, but it has to do with our own bodies and our own metabolisms. When we take in alcohol, it changes our metabolism. A lot of people don't understand that. Or they'll say, gosh, I don't eat very much, but I have a glass of wine every night with dinner. Or maybe they have a beer. They have, they say, I don't drink very much. I only have like 5 drinks a week. But when you're doing things like that and you're taking alcohol, you're eating, you're taking alcohol in, it's changing your metabolism in a way that's not favorable. One thing that we do at Executive Medicine of Texas, when we bring people in for their executive physicals, they have to fill out a 24-page questionnaire. And in that questionnaire, we say, how many drinks do you drink per week? How many of those are hard alcohol, wine, beer? We really want to look at those things so we can understand those habits. So when people say, hey, I can't lose weight, we can go, okay, bingo, we figured it out. Because a lot of people think, and so many people say, I've been drinking my whole life. I've had a couple of beers, and now it's changed. Well, maybe your hormones have changed, and now your body, your metabolism, and the alcohol are all it's a different chemistry. Our body is just a giant chemistry experiment.
Well, here's the thing that I found that, cause and effect, no question about it, but here you go. When you go out and have a couple of beers, maybe you're down at the local golf course, you're at the local restaurant, you're wherever, So the kind of food that you're eating that goes along with a couple of beers that you're having could be burgers and fries and things like that at the local watering hole. So instead of being home eating something you've cooked yourself that's probably healthier, you're down eating stuff that's deep fried and stuff that's high in calories and cholesterol and so on and so forth. So I think that oftentimes those things go hand in hand as well.
Well, bingo. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. And this is why restaurants in particular, they will serve saltier foods because the more salt and fat they have in the foods, the more alcohol you will order. It just has to do with your cravings. So at the bar, that's why they have the peanuts in the things, because the more salt you're taking in, the more alcohol you're going to order, the more money they're going to make, the more weight you're going to gain, the higher risk of diabetes. I mean, it's like a vicious cycle.
Judy, I guess it just seems to me as if you have a couple drinks before you go to bed, it would seem that it would relax you to a certain extent, and if you've had a couple drinks where certain problems kind of roll off your back, that would lower your, at least your heart rate. That's not the case?
Well, it's not the case, and what you're describing is what about 90% of Americans believe. They believe that drinking helps them sleep better, but there have been multiple studies that have shown us that it actually decreases sleep quality. It may make you sleep longer, and you may wake up hungover, but when it comes to sleep quality, and that means how deep you sleep, your REM sleep, you know, how you're breathing, are you tossing and turning, are you getting up to go to the bathroom, you really need 7.5 hours of uninterrupted sleep per night. And if you can't get that, and alcohol prohibits that, whether it's the tossing and turning to get up to go to the bathroom, whatever it is, it actually changes the quality. And if you can't get good quality sleep over time, you're going to be sleep deprived, even if, you know, you're in that bed 7, 8, even 9 hours. It's about the quality, not so much the quantity.
And you hit it right on the head there. You know, the thing is, for me, I snore normally, just the way it is. If you have a couple of drinks, I snore worse, which really wrecks the quality of the sleep that I get.
That's exactly right. It relaxes the back of the mouth, and that's what causes that snoring. And yes, when you snore or when you stop breathing from that, you know, people that have sleep apnea are always recommended not to drink alcohol, because sleep apnea, which a lot of people snore from, and that's one of the symptoms of sleep apnea, but sleep apnea is actually deadly, and we've seen a lot of people die from that, celebrities and professional athletes and stuff, so it's kind of made the mainstream news. But alcohol is a big contender in the sleep apnea realm, and I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, in fact, I have apnea, and I have been through the sleep studies, and you're not supposed to drink alcohol at all, so I'm going to take your advice, Judy, and live clean and fly right. Judy, thank you so much.
And she's going to tell me if you're sending any emails, because we'll know, right?
You better believe it.
She'll forward them. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Judy Gaman, health and wellness expert. Lay out the alcohol, you'll feel better, lose weight, sleep better, all that. And you won't send angry emails to Joanne, but if you'd like to, I've got her email address handy. Just let me know. It's the Steve Rivers Show. We'll be right back.